So guys, let me just clarify and probably summarize the difference between La Liga FFP rules and the Premier League FFP rules, you understand? So this is actually why we have registration issues in La Liga and we don't have it in Premier League, you understand? So basically, there used to be a very huge debt, by Spanish clubs, both in La Liga and the other lower leagues in Spanish. And in order to actually curb this whole huge debt in Spanish clubs, Tebas, when he was elected president, he actually introduced this unable to this registration of players basically. So what they actually do is this: you submit your financial statement as a club, you understand? So you have to ensure that your salary cap mustn't exceed what your club is capable of doing, instead of the club going outside to borrow money to pay players, to pay agents, to pay managers. What they actually do is they ensure that your income should be able to pay players, like their salary and every other club board you get. So what they actually do, if you cannot pay players, if your income as a club cannot afford to pay players their salary and their compensation, you will need to sell players. Just ensure basically that whatever money is coming in can be able to pay the salaries of players and the club's board. But in Premier League, they don't actually do that. What they actually do is every club submits their financial statement at the end of the season. You understand? And their punishment basically is, if after submitting your financial statement, the Premier League board observe that you have breached the FFP rules in the Premier League, you will either get a point deduction as a club, or you will be relegated to a lower league. So you can actually see the difference. That doesn't actually mean that Premier Leagues, they don't actually go through financial saga too. They actually go through financial saga. We can all see the 100 and something financial saga Man City actually went through. Same thing for some club. I think Everton two seasons ago, that actually made them get some point deduction during the league. So that's basically the difference between the Premier League and the La Liga FFP rules. So instead of clubs being punished, probably getting point deduction, they won't be able to register new players, or whenever a player renews his contract, they won't be able to actually register the player. So that is the difference between the La Liga and the Premier League, and this has actually helped over the years clubs, especially Barcelona, to actually reduce their debt crisis, during the past 4 or 5 years now. You get, so that's basically the difference. There's nothing really so special about it anyway.